Hi there. This is the first video in a new series I'm going to be doing on AI and ACIM. And it's partly, I'm partly doing this because I have a friend here on the Big Island who is very big into AI, and he keeps running things through AI for me. And, Google now has AI built into it. I'm not sure how this all works, but what I have been doing these last few days is I've been asking questions of AI and specifically about ACIM and seeing what AI has to say. And that's what I wanted to do in this video is to talk about some of these questions and some of AI's answers to my questions. And the other reason why I'm interested in this, at least one reason, is the question, because when I get some responses from AI, it seems, obviously it seems like a higher intelligence, first of all. Whether it truly is an open question. Does AI have a heart, right? Has a mind, it's a form of intelligence. Is it the highest intelligence? And then we could ask, how is ACIM like AI, or how is AI like ACIM? ACIM seems to be almost like a form of AI in a way, because if you think about it, Helen, you had Helen's ego personality, right? And Helen's ego personality was aware of all these things. Like she had been heavily engaged in the study of psychology. She had a doctorate, right? She had studied Freud, studied the major psychoanalysts. She had studied Shakespeare. She had read the Bible, the King James. She knew about all these. She knew Plato. She knew Nietzsche. She had all of these things that were in her mind, in her psychology or her psyche. And it seems as if the author, which in Helen did not claim to be the author, she was the scribe, the author of A Course in Miracles used much that was already there in Helen's psyche to formulate this course. So you can see Shakespeare there, Plato, Shakespeare, Nietzsche, Freud. Obviously, Freud is a big one. You can hear echoes definitely of Hindu philosophy, Eastern philosophy. It's almost as if the author knows the Bhagavad Gita, for example, which I've talked about. And I think Helen had read the Bhagavad Gita. I know Ken had read the Bhagavad Gita before meeting Helen and Bill. So my question is, how is the author of A Course in Miracles like AI, and how not like AI? Maybe, some people would even have a problem with me asking that question. But the question, because as I understand what AI does, is it scours scours cyberspace, for lack of a better term, for all the information it can gather, and then it culls it together, and it brings the essence of what it finds. And I don't know how it does it and how it does it so quickly. It does it very, very quickly, right? Unless the answers are already there, or unless these questions have already been asked, and so the system already has the answers, and it just has to pull up the answer. I'm not sure, but it's really amazing. So that's the first thing, is like how amazing this is that it can do this, and I think we tend to think of the Course that way. Is like, how did the Course is just genius, right? And I think if more people knew how it came and how it really does not seem to have been something that that Helen consciously wrote, but it does seem to be like through inspiration, that she was receiving this divine inspiration, and she was just writing down what was coming to her. So anyway, the basic question: how is ACIM like AI? How is it not like AI? I joked to my friend, because of the similarities between the course and AI, I said maybe you could rearrange the letters of ACIM, AIMC, meaning the AI miracle course, right? Right. Although I know some of you out there might have a problem with me saying that. I'm kind of joking though, but anyway, I asked a bunch of questions so far. Here's just a few from today that I asked. I asked, what is the metaphysics of ACIM? And I was told there was nothing that was available about that. But then I asked, does ACIM have a metaphysics? And I did get an answer, and the answer is this. Yes, A Course in Miracles does have a distinct and complex metaphysics, which provides the foundation for its teachings on spirituality and healing. Here's a breakdown of some key aspects of ACIM's metaphysics. Now, any problem with that so far? No. Problem number one, here's a breakdown, right? Number one, non-dualism. It starts with non-dualism, which is interesting because there is definitely different camps in the ACIM world. Some think that ACIM is not, there's no non-dualism in ACIM whatsoever. The word non-dualism does not ever appear in the text or the workbook or the manual. It's nowhere, right? So why would you say non-dualism? This is what AI says. ACIM's metaphysics is rooted in non-dualism, meaning it posits a single unified reality, which it identifies with God and love. Now that's true. So far, so good, right? This oneness is the only reality, and all perceived separation and duality are considered illusions or misperceptions arising from the ego. That's also true. So again, this is pretty amazing that it can do this. Now, it's a question of where is it getting this information? Right? So this is going to be a book. It's probably going to be like 100 or 200 pages with questions that I'm asking AI, mainly about A Course in Miracles, but I'm also going to start with asking the questions. Maybe I'll do this in my next video, is like, how does AI get this information? What is AI? I'm going to ask a bunch of questions specifically about AI, so stay tuned for that. You've probably already seen a lot about that, but maybe this will be a little different than what you've seen. And then the other things I'm going to be talking about I'm going to be asking about are specifically about the Bible and Christianity, asking questions. How is ACIM similar to Christianity? How is it different? Things like that, questions like that. All right, number two, the nature of reality. Heaven/oneness, reality in ACIM is described as a state of perfect oneness, love, and peace, often referred to as heaven. Now, here it does not make L capitalized. In the first answer about non-dualism, it capitalized L, the L in love. Here it does not capitalize the L in love, which is fine, but now, perfect oneness, love, and peace, often referred to as heaven. That's okay. I might put it differently, a little bit differently than that. I think you could just say it's described as a state of perfect oneness. That's enough, right? Because if you add love and peace, then it gets to be kind of dualistic, I think. But anyway, the illusion of separation. The physical world and the experience of individual selves are considered illusions, a dreamlike state arising from a mistaken belief in separation from God. Let's read it again. The illusion of separation, the physical world, and the experience of individual selves are considered illusions, a dreamlike state arising from a mistaken belief in separation from God. Yeah, more or less. Does the Course ever use the phrase illusion of separation? I don't think it does, but it definitely indicates that, right? Mind as the creator. The mind is seen as the source of both reality and illusion, having the power to choose between perceiving the unified truth of heaven or the illusory world of separation. Okay, I mean, these are good answers. These are not like in-depth answers, but these are okay for the general reader. So that's all. That was all under the umbrella of the nature of reality. That's number 2. Number 3. This is the metaphysics, by the way. Again, what is metaphysics? Metaphysics is like the underlying it's like metaphysics is how reality, what is the nature of reality, right? That would be the metaphysics. Is it philosophy? Is it theology? Metaphysics, in a sense, is philosophy, but it's like the philosophical premises on which the Course is based. In this case, right, the metaphysics of the Course would be the philosophical premises upon which the entire Course is based. Number 3, the nature of God. Love and oneness. God is understood as pure love, the source of all being, and the embodiment of complete unity. Okay, that's good. That's good. Non-personal. ACIM's God is not a personal being with human-like attributes, but rather an all-encompassing, formless, and unchanging principle of love. It's also good. It says that at the very beginning in the introduction to the Course, talks about that. Beyond understanding, the nature of God is ultimately beyond human comprehension, can only be known through direct experience, not through intellectual understanding. Also good. I like how this is very, very simple, very clear, right? It's very simple and clear, and gets right to the essence of things. Number 4, the Son of God. This is all, again, this is number 4 in what is the metaphysics of the Course. Our true identity, all are part of the sonship, the collective expression of God's love and oneness. Well put. Christ consciousness, the concept of Christ, represents the awakened awareness of the true identity as the Son of God, united with God and each other. I'll read that one more time. Christ consciousness, the concept of Christ, represents the awakened awareness of the true identity as the Son of God, united with God and each other. Also well put. It's not just the Son of the Father, but we are all part of the sonship. We are all the Son. We are all the one Son. That means we are all the Christ. And no one is more or less the Son or the Christ than anyone else. Let me just also say this. I'll probably say this in a separate video. You know, how Jesus, I think one of the greatest things that Jesus says in the Gospels is love one another, right? And he says, he doesn't just say love each other or love one another. He says, love one another as I have loved you. And, you know, I think you could just simply put it, love each other or love one another, right? And some people have. You could say that in a sense, what Jesus was getting at there, was he talking about everyone? Was he saying, love everyone as I have loved you? We'd have to look at the Gospels, but my understanding, at least at this moment, is that Jesus was really talking to his disciples, right? He was saying to his disciples, love each other as I have loved you. It wasn't saying go out and love everyone else as I have loved you, necessarily. Now, did he mean that? Maybe that was the intention of it, but what the Course is getting at is, yes, love everyone, right? Not just my disciples, although in a way, you know, being a teacher of God for the Course is like being Jesus' disciple. We'd have to talk about that. because not everyone does the course, not everyone would even think of themselves as a teacher of God, and not everyone even would think about, let's not say that, but I didn't say what it was, but let's say, what the course really is getting at, which is not necessarily spelled out in the Gospels, is love everyone equally, right? Do not play favorites, do not make exceptions, do not say this person is evil, therefore they are not, I cannot love them, I cannot see them as myself. They are despicable, they are utterly unlike me, they need to be damned and go to hell for eternity or whatever, right? They're not, that is not me, right? And I have no part in that individual whatsoever. Whereas the Course is saying, even those people, right, you love, or at least you forgive them. You do not see, you do not, they do not bring up any kind of upset or grievance in you. When you think about that person, when you see that person, when you talk to that person, when you interact with that person, you are the same as you are with everyone else, which would be your loving self. Anyway, so Christ consciousness, going on. Remembering our wholeness. The goal is to awaken from the dream of separation and remember the true nature as the unified Son of God. Right? So that's also the metaphysics, the Son of God, that there is the Son of God. We are all the Son of God. We remember, in remembering our wholeness, we awaken from the dream of separation. And we remember our true nature, our true self, our true reality. Number 5, forgiveness and healing. Undoing the illusion. Forgiveness in ACIM is the process of releasing attachment to the illusion of separation and recognizing the inherent innocence and oneness of everyone. Again, well put. Returning to love. By forgiving others and oneself, the ego's thought system is dismantled, allowing love to be the only reality. By forgiving others and oneself, the ego's thought system is dismantled, allowing love to be the only reality. Also, very well put, AI. Thank you. And returning to love. Remember that Marianne Williamson. Some people think that Marianne Williamson wrote A Course in Miracles, but she did not. Right? She has just written some of the most popular books about the Course, and one of her popular books is called A Return to Love. Now, does the Course use that phrase, return to love? It might, and I'd have to check. If anyone out there knows, let me know. The miracle. A miracle is a shift in perception, a moment of recognizing the truth of oneness and experiencing the peace and love of God. It's a very good way of putting it. Miracle is a shift in perception, a moment of recognizing the truth of oneness and experiencing the peace and love of God. It's the moment when you move from seeing your brother as separate, as different, where you would normally attack your brother, but instead you join with your brother and you recognize in your brother the shared interest in going home, that you both have the same interest in love, right? You both want love. You may be getting there in very different ways, but you both want love. And so you recognize that, and that is the miracle. In that moment where you see that and your brother sees that as well, even if they don't, at least you see it, right? But usually your brother will get it too. It doesn't have to be with words. It can be this could happen in many different ways. In summary, ACIM's metaphysics provides a framework for understanding the nature of reality, God, and our true identity as expressions of divine love. Its emphasis on non-dualism, the illusion of separation, and the power of forgiveness offers a pathway to spiritual awakening and healing. It's very good. That's why I'm doing this, because this is a great way to teach ACIM through AI, actually. And so I think this book is going to be cool. I don't know if people are going to be interested. We'll see. I would love to hear from you if this is of interest to you. And I'm going to do something funny now, which maybe might make this more interesting. I'm gonna intersperse questions, funny questions, in this book to make it more of a interesting read. So another question I put today was, why is AI full of shit? The query, and I didn't think I was going to get an answer, but I did. The query, why is AI full of shit, is a provocative way to ask about the limitations and potential shortcomings of artificial intelligence, particularly in the context of large language models, LLMs, and generative AI. Here's a breakdown of why someone might perceive AI as, quote, full of shit, unquote. 1. It's funny how it numbers everything, right? 1. Inaccuracies and, quote, hallucinations, unquote. LLMs, while capable of generating impressive text, can produce inaccurate or nonsensical outputs, often referred to as hallucinations. These inaccuracies stem from the fact that LLMs are trained on massive datasets, which inevitably contain errors, biases, and outdated information. So that's good to think about in terms of what we just read about the metaphysics of the course, because, like I said, some people would disagree with what I read. They don't see ACIM as non-dualistic, for example. So they would argue with that, and they would say AI is full of shit, right? LLMs learn by statistically replicating patterns observed in this data without necessarily understanding the underlying meaning or truth. So AI, basically takes the data from all these different places and finds, what is the consensus, from what we have found of all this different data inputs. Number 2, lack of real-world understanding and reasoning. This is, again, why AI might be full of shit. Lack of real-world understanding and reasoning. While LLMs can process and generate human-like text, they lack true understanding of the real world and the ability to reason like humans do. They struggle with tasks requiring common sense, contextual awareness, and complex logical reasoning. This lack of understanding can lead to outputs that are factually incorrect, illogical, or inappropriate. But from what I saw and what we read before, that was all pretty accurate. That was all pretty right on. From my perspective, I've been doing the course now for a good 10 plus years, religiously, right? I've definitely read through all of the course. I've read, the secondary literature, a lot of it, not all of it, obviously, but a lot of stuff written about it. And I've watched a lot of videos. I've watched my own videos, which I'm sure have inaccuracies and just plain out wrong facts in them too. But I think for the most part, what I do is getting close to what the course is actually saying, just like AI, right? Number 3, perpetuation of biases and stereotypes. LLMs are trained on data that reflects existing societal biases and stereotypes. As a result, they can perpetuate these biases in their outputs, leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. This raises ethical concerns about the use of AI in areas like hiring, lending, and criminal justice. Okay, number 4, overestimation of AI capabilities. LLMs are often hyped as being far more capable than they actually are. They are often portrayed as being able to replace human intelligence in a wide range of tasks, which is not yet the case. This can lead to unrealistic expectations and disappointment when LLMs fail to deliver on the hype. Number 5, opacity and lack of explainability. The inner workings of LLMs are often opaque and difficult to understand, even for experts. This lack of transparency makes it difficult to trust AI systems and to understand why they make the decisions they do. This can be particularly problematic in high-stakes situations where it's important to be able to explain AI's reasoning. In conclusion, while AI, particularly LLMs, and what is LLMs, once again, are large language models. We'll have to go into that. Maybe not right now. Well, we could in a moment. In conclusion, while AI, particularly LLMs, has made impressive strides in recent years, it's crucial to acknowledge its limitations and potential for errors, biases and misrepresentations. Understanding these shortcomings is essential for using AI responsibly and ethically. It's a great answer to a stupid question that I didn't even think I was going to get an answer to. I posed it not thinking I was going to get an actually really helpful answer, and a good answer in light of what we read about what AI thinks of ACIM, what is the metaphysics of ACIM according to AI. And like I said, it's pretty spot on. So at least, you know, in this iteration of history that we're living through right now, it's pretty spot on. What will AI say 5 or 10 years from now, or maybe a different AI? If I tried it with like a different AI system, maybe the answer would be different. And it might be interesting, maybe the book will also include like what different AI systems say about the same question. That would also be interesting. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this, anything you want to share about it. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. And yeah, keep the faith and keep on keeping on. You know, the faith works, as they say, and it doesn't have to be. It can just be a simple faith in that goodness is love, and goodness is really what will bring us to joy. And if we want to stay in the light and the joy and the happiness, then we want to keep going towards the love and the light. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll love to hear your thoughts, and see you soon. Bye bye.